but who better than me?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to more Base Talks. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It's appreciated. Now, yesterday, as always, had the pleasure speaking with Mr. Johnny Nelson. It's been a while since I managed to speak with Johnny. We had a nice little conversation. To be honest, it could have been a lot longer, as it always could be. Some nice insight there. There's also a little cameo appearance from October Red in the video. I don't even know if you see her fully, but she's there. A couple other people just sort of walking by in the background. You never know who you see. But yeah, look, have a look, have a listen, and enjoy. And also, while we're on the subject, just a big apologies to Chef Clark. You'll see why by the end of the video. This is Base the Kid, the hardcore casual, delighted to once again be joined by cruiserweight great and fellow Capricorn Johnny Nelson. Johnny, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. It's nice to be here in Birmingham. It's Easter weekend, so we're either watching the boxing or eating eggs. It's nice. It's going to be a busy next 10 days, put it that way.
I got to make sure it's Good Friday. You haven't been touching any meat today, have you?
You know what? I've been good so far. I've been good. I've been good, baby. That's right. I've been on point. And my mum will be watching, saying, "Johnny." So I'm on it.
Good stuff. So look, we're here at the just finishing up the press conference for Whitaker versus Cameron 2. I think it's safe to say that I don't think boxers expected Ben Whitaker to have a rivalry so early in his career. Do you think that this was the right path almost to be able to build that genuine rivalry with another boxer so early?
Well, on a domestic level, it's captured the attention of the general public, and I'm quite sure there are other domestic fights that could create that rivalry. So, and this is a good thing for career-wise because it puts you on the map. People are like, oh my God, have you seen what's happening there domestically? You know, and it's all right when you have domestic rivals from overseas, but now you've got domestic rivalry where it splits fans down the middle. You know, they like the personality of Liam. You know, some will dislike the personality of Ben. But either way, it's got people talking. It's got them like, have you seen what happened? You know, it gives them something to talk about. I think so. These things will happen in our sport, and I think for Ben, it's probably something he at this stage he's having to learn. You know, it's his 10th professional fight, so he's having to learn a part of our game. He's having to learn how fickle the fans can be. He's having to learn how much of a hard hat he needs to wear when it comes to criticism. He's having to learn, you know, about being complacent at the wrong time. And this is the development. If you want to be a champion and stay a champion, you've got to know all these things when you get over there.
Now, I remember, controversially, you said after the first fight, you believed that Ben actually won every round up until the point they tumbled out of the ring. But in that first fight, did you feel like there was a shift in the tide that was taking place?
Without a doubt, as the fight was rolling on, I'm like, my boy's going to gas out if he don't get rid of him. Because he was fighting on the front foot, he was letting the shots go, he was trying to blast him out, and I'm like, Ben, stop, man, stop. And that was because what Ben was trying to do was he was trying to steal the show. He was out in Saudi, it was a big deal. He's thinking, you know what, a platform for me to elevate myself, and they'll see me all over the world. You know, it's Saudi season, I've got his Excellency there. And so he went in there, he forgot about the guy in front of him and thought about the business that was created from it. That's a lesson learned, they never do that again. And so we had to learn a harsh lesson. It's part of our game.
Liam Cameron seems extremely confident, but he also seems like he's trying to not put any pressure on himself. I think he relishes that underdog, no one believes in me status. Whereas Ben, whether he likes it or not, he is the main guy. He is the guy that has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. But how much pressure do you believe is really on his shoulders for this fight? Like, is it a case that for Ben, if he were to win but not win well, how does that sort of affect him moving forward?
You know what? We all have a bogeyman in our careers. Maybe one or two bogeymen in our careers. So we all have them. And so now, and this might be his at this level. and he needs to try and forget about this. You know, once it's over and done, once he's got rid of him, like, woof, thank God that's over. And 2 or 3 fights the line, people will forget it. They'll still, you know, mock him, or they'll still try and bring it up when they want to get some facts on him. But 2 or 3 fights the line, if he wins, down the line, if he wins, it'll be old news. For Liam, I remember Chris Eubank used to be the kind of guy that he loved people booing him. He'd feed off it. And I loved people booing me when I boxed in someone else's backyard. I loved it because it makes you box to the best of your ability. And the first time when people were cheering it, and when he boxed Carl Thompson and he walked in the ring, they cheered him and everything. And it was like, it was foreign to him. You know, because you want something that's going to boil your blood and say, all right, I'm having some of this. Liam's used to being the underdog. And so being in this situation, he's loving that right now. I just want to see what it'd be like when all of a sudden he's expected to win. And it's high stakes. All of a sudden, when the crowd are there for him, it's high stakes. Because it takes a different kind of beast to be able to navigate and balance the 2 out and still fight successfully.
In your opinion, who does this rematch favour? Does it favour Ben Whitaker, who has the chance to maybe correct some of the stuff he did, or does it favour Liam Cameron, who now knows what Ben's like in the ring and maybe feels like all I got to do is take him late?
Well, financially, it favours Liam Cameron because he's made more money before he even got in the ring through a clerical error by Ben Whitaker's handlers. But that's not Ben's problem. That's Ben Shalom's problem. In fight-wise, does it benefit? It benefits both fights because Ben got complacent and he's learned the lesson now at this stage rather than a world championship at this stage. So he'll never do this mistake again. For Liam, it benefits him because he's been in there once, he knows what he's about. But that version of Ben was not the normal version of Ben we normally see. So he knows him a little bit.
No, talking about Ben Shalom and obviously what's gone on there, he doesn't seem to get a lot of an easy ride, I would say. Ben Shalom, yeah. Do you feel like, is this a case whereby it was always going to be 10 rounds and they were just taking the piss, or was it a case of this was really a possible back and forth issue?
Listen, I don't know what the ins and outs of it was, but Ben Shalom has put himself in a position where he's given Frank and Liam's team ammunition to hammer him. And realistically, that's Ben's problem. That's his fault. So he's got to deal with the memes, he's got to deal with the criticism, he's got to deal with it. That's his problem. It's not Ben Whitaker's problem, and so it's a rookie mistake, a public rookie mistake, and so he's just got to deal with it. So it's a joke that'll keep rolling on, and they'll stack it up with any mistakes he's making. But it's part of the game. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. It's just who can blag their way through the mistakes. And this, unfortunately, was a big mistake he struggled to blag.
Also on this card, Frasier Clark returns against Ebenezer Tete. Now, I will be totally honest, I was one of the people that didn't think he would get back in the ring after that injury. But he's back. He seems to be very chippy about people who believe that he wouldn't be back in the ring, which is totally fine. But my question, is that he said previously that he's had that same injury before. So if he's had it once and now he's had it twice, mentally, what will that do to him in the ring, trying to wonder if it's going to happen again?
I only heard that today for the first time, that he's had it before, number one. I think Fraser looks trimmer, he looks on point. And like you, I was one of the people that said, I don't want to see him in the ring again. Because that kind of knockout and the effect it had, it scared me. And I'm an ex-fighter, so can you imagine being a casual? And everybody's going to watch on Sunday night and watch Fraser. They're going to watch how he reacts when he takes a shot. They're going to watch how he reacts, look for every little movement, every little something to say, oh my God, that's because of X, Y, Z. And Fraser's pissed off because of the people's of what they've said in regards to, I don't want to see him box again. It's coming from a good place. It's not coming from a bad place. It's coming from a good place of care. But Fraser can't afford to think like us, because Fraser's the one that's getting there to fight. You can't go in there thinking, oh my God, this might happen, that might happen. You've got to go in there with a positive mental attitude. So I understand the way he's coming from. But the things that I said are coming from a good place. So unless you're in Fraser's circle of trust, his family, his trainer, the people in the gym with him, we're never going to know any better. But we're just reacting to what we see, and that's all it is.
Ebenezer Tete as his comeback opponent. What's your opinion?
Tough. Good fight for him. Good fight for him to come back to, because you don't want to push over, but you don't want a tough task. So that's good.
Right, we've got Tyler Denny and Elvis Hogan. Now, I think this has almost become like the fans' intrigue fight. Like, Elvis has done a great job of selling it, been very respectful, but been very outspoken as well.
I like Tyler Denny, but we need to be careful because Elvis is naturally the bigger fighter, and we saw him in there with Callum. You know, he's fought bigger people, and he's a warmonger. He wants to tear, he wants to dig in. And like Tyler, because Tyler is a warmonger too, but a good big one, there will always be a good little one. And so if they're both doing that and they're both fighting like that, you know, Tyler's the more experienced, but he's getting in there with somebody that wants to fight, have a toe-to-toe as well. So Tyler's got to use his boxing brain to make sure it benefits him. Good fight though.
Well, that's what I was actually going to ask. Do you think, I mean, look, we know Tyler has that boxing brain, but we also know he likes to get on the inside. He likes to be in the pocket and work. That's what I'm saying. Is that going to be his fight or Elvis's fight?
I don't know. Common sense tells me it's going to be Elvis's fight because he's naturally a bigger guy. Common sense tells me that, and that's why I'm like, yo, don't just think you're going to walk through this boy because he's tough. You know, the kid is naturally strong, so we got to wait.
Moving on very quickly. So next week, and we got the big Conor Benn and Chris Eubank fight. Chris Eubank is recently came out and he's paid a lot of the ex-fighters from the last card. What's your thoughts on that?
Brilliant. I think he's shamed everybody else that hasn't done that. Everybody else that's been in his position that hasn't done that. He tried to put shame on Conor, tried to put shame on Eddie, and your Franks. You know, why have you not suggested this? We're making bad money. You know, the guys on the undercard, 95% of fighters on good money. They're not on mad money. They've got to have jobs to subsidise what they do, subsidise sparring partners, subsidise everything, time off work. And so what Chris has done, people have just, I can't believe people have let it just slip by like it's no big deal. It's a big deal. But people that should be doing it are ignoring it like, no, it's no big deal. It's a big deal. And shame on those that should be doing it, that aren't doing it. And that's what Chris has done. So I actually commend him massively for doing that. I'm like, good on you, man, good on you.
Okay, but pushback to that, why did he wait 2 years to do it and make it a publicity thing rather than doing it at the time if he's making mad money already? That's just me.
So a fight that should have happened, that fell through, so therefore they want to fight again. So he's saying, right then, I've got paid, and I'm going to give everybody else that should have been on the card, I've got a platform to tell you, here you are, I'm paying you out. Now he's putting pressure on the promoter and the other fighter to do exactly the same. There's no pushback. He's found a platform to do it, and if he's done it publicly, to say well done, good, because it can only be positive for everybody else, for other fighters. Will we see this down the line with other shows where this happens? No, we won't, because people want to ignore it. People have just developed amnesia and deaf ears, like they don't know none. What Chris has done is brilliant, and I hope people that can do it feel a bit squirmy inside, thinking, damn it, now my man's putting us under pressure. I rate him, and I'm probably the only one that said it publicly. Good on you, Chris. Good on you doing that. You know, because you're putting man under pressure. I sing this song because I've been one of those fighters that has been on the card that's fallen through. I've been one of those fighters on a card where a fight is pulled out and the whole show's been done, and you're ending up out of pocket. I've been one of those fighters. Everybody thinks you're all on AJ money. Nobody's on AJ money. 5% of fighters are on AJ money. 95% of them aren't. So that little something that he's given, good on him. So big respect to him.
Who do you think is the favourite in that fight at the moment?
I'd have to lean towards Chris because Chris has been more active of late. But I didn't rate his last performance. I thought, wow, if you went in there with a Conor Benn that I know, you'd have got teed up. The reason why I lean towards Chris is because Conor Benn's not boxed for 16 months, and he's naturally a smaller guy. So therefore, because he's had that time out, I think that is a thing that, and he's naturally a smaller guy. That's why I just slightly lean towards Chris. If Conor had been active in his career, I'd have said, you know what, I'm gonna put a bet on Conor because his style of fight, his aggressive style of fight, is enough, regardless of him being a welterweight or not.
But also, though, if we look at Chris, for instance, it seems like he's found it very difficult to make the weight over the last couple of tries. He's always very lean anyway, but that 160 seems to be taking a toll. Could that play a factor in this fight, do you think?
It could do. I think it'll play a factor earlier. I think as a fight goes down the line and you get past 6 rounds, it will play a factor. For the first 6 rounds, it'll suit him down to the ground. But as the rounds roll on, that's when it'll play a factor.
Okay, last one. For that card, outside of that fight, because obviously that will be the fight everyone's going to see, but what's your sleeper fight on the card, or what's like the fight you're looking forward to seeing the most?
I can't remember who's on the card. God, everything's happening.
So you've got Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur 3, you've got Chris Billum-Smith and Brandon Glanton, and you've got Vidal Riley versus oh crap,
the cruiserweight Vidal Riley. God, I can remember his shit. I'm sorry, man. Who's got Vidal got?
I'm sorry.
Who's Vidal got? Chev. Yeah.
Apologies, Chev, if you watch this. I'm sorry. Do you think that's going to be
a good fight? Good fight. And Vidal's career hasn't been boom, 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 boom consistently on it, and so he just needs some consistency in his career to see his true potential. So good fight.
I mean, the fight I'm looking forward to most is Billum-Smith and Brandon Glanton. I think that's going to be a total war.
I think with Billum-Smith, what you see is what you get. He's not going to bring anything different. He's tough and he'll keep walking forward. So if it's because you want to see a crash bang wallop, then I get that. But
Johnny, as always, look, it's a pleasure to chat to you. A lot longer than I was expecting to, but much appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you. Nice one.
Look, so as always, brilliant to talk with Johnny. And you know what? I respect, especially I rate the fact he likes the whole Chris Eubank Jr., giving the money back to all of the fighters and stuff. And I agree. I think it's a very good thing. But I did have to push back, saying like, if that was going to be his intention, like why wait 2 years later to do it? Can make it look more like a publicity stunt just to get at Eddie Hearn, rather than just do it then, especially if you had quote unquote money, like you're supposed to be rich, right? But at the end of the day, look, he's done it now. I guess it doesn't really matter. They've still got the money. I've spoken to a couple who were in and around that area, and I can confirm that yes, they did receive the cash. So hey, happy days. But yeah, hopefully there'll be a couple more base talks dropping over the next couple of days, and we'll see what else we can get into. Don't forget for the live watch alongs tonight and tomorrow, non-boxing related, so for the people who want that content. But yeah, I will catch you all on the next one, but until then, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Peace.